Hey everyone, it's Mermaid Mike here, and in this video slideshow, I'm going to show you how I make this Seaglass palm tree that you're looking at right there. I made this today, and I snapped photos along the way and a video of a few of the stages, and so here goes. So some of the supplies and tools that you need, I added a few things, but obviously you need some sea glass, green if you're going to use green. I like to use different shades of green. Um, Craft sticks or popsicle sticks. Locally, I could only find them packaged as craft sticks and painted. Uh, like that, but if you soak them in water, that paint comes off, or you can paint them green if you like. You need to soak them anyway, which I'll talk about in a minute. But so you need 8 popsicle sticks. Really, you could use 4 because we will cut them in half. Uh, uh, so really 4 popsicle sticks cut in half. Um, 8 pieces of wire. This is 16 gauge galvanized steel wire and about an inch longer than your popsicle stick. Um, Piece of flat driftwood that you can cut to make your base. Um, a driftwood stick for the trunk of your tree. Um, E6000 glue is my favorite glue to use. It's a silicone type glue, but it'll really hold. It adheres well to the sea glass. It's it's the workhorse glue that does most of the work. Occasionally, I'll use a dab of Gorilla Glue gel super glue, and I'll use uh, hot glue, my hot glue gun, just to create an anchor point, a few shells to if you want to put some shells or random pieces of sea glass on the base of the tree. A little drill bit. I think I used a 5/64 inch, just whatever, just to make pilot holes for the screw you're going to use, as well as for the wire. You need a utility blade, pair of wire cutters. In addition, I'm going to use some saran wrap and about 80 or 100 grit sandpaper. Okay, so those are the supplies. Again, you want to soak the popsicle sticks in water to soften them up so you can bend them. You can soak them overnight, or you can bring some water to a boil and soak them in that hot water for about an hour. And then you can, while they're wet and soft, you can bend them and just use the corner. I just use the corner of the little bowl that I use to soak them in, and use clothespins to clip them in the corner, and then let them dry, and then they'll be in that bowed shape that you want for the branches of the palm tree. All right. Uh, Here you can see I cut a square piece of the driftwood to use as the base there. All right. Excuse my dirty fingers. I've been doing some construction work around the house the last few days. I I just trimmed the end of the driftwood stick to make a uh, flat end to put into the base. Then I get a wood drill bit, um, about the width of the um, of the driftwood stick there, to create a little bit of a hole in the base to set it down into, like so. All right, so just drill about halfway into the base, just to give it a little place to wedge in there. All right, I put a little bit of construction adhesive. Um, this is like a liquid nails kind of product. Just put a little dab of that in there, and then um, tap your driftwood stick into that hole. And then we want to just put a screw in there to anchor it, make it secure. So I'll drill the pilot hole, and then I counter sunk that a little bit so that the head of the screw would go in there flush, which you can see there. All right. Then you take your drill bit and at a pretty sharp angle, probably around, I would say, 60 degrees or so. And what I do is I create eight holes, and you drill into the at that angle into the core of the driftwood, and I'll do four, like one on each side, uh, kind of opposite of each other on the top, and then in between each of those a little bit lower for a total of eight. And on this slide, I took a short video just to show you after I had drilled those holes around the top there. And that's where the wire is going to go in to anchor the branches. Okay. All right. And then another hole in the middle, the top. Um, then we're going to take our craft sticks after they have dried in the bowed shape, or you can cut them before you soak them, would probably be easier. But either way, and just a razor blade, they'll cut pretty easily. I like to work on folded thick cardboard so that when I cut through it, it's not a problem. And it doesn't need to be uniform or anything like that because the sea glass is going to be glued to that. Um, and you notice these were green um, that I used, but a lot of the green color came off. Then what we want to do is run a bead of a thin bead of E6000 glue down the center of your popsicle stick, and then shape your wire about the same curve, a little bit more, whatever arc you want the branch to have. And you're going to glue your craft stick to the wire. Then this is where the cling wrap comes in, or you could use latex gloves, but it kind of minimize the amount of glue residue that gets on you, but also because we need to plant this till the E6000 glue dries. I take some saran wrap, clear plastic cellophane, and I put it around the branch, and then I just use some clothespins like that, and that'll hold it in place. And maybe a half an hour, and the E6000 is all dry. All right, then you'll repeat that 8 times for the branches. Then get your sandpaper, and this is an important step, and you want to lightly sand the bottom side of the piece of sea glass just to clean the surface, but also to scuff it a little bit. It makes the glue grip it better and makes it less likely that it will come unstuck. All right. So what I'll do is I'll run a line of E6000, but then I'll put just a dot of hot glue at the base and at the back and front of each piece of sea glass. And what that does is just it anchors it, it holds it in place, keeps it from sliding off until the E6000 dries. And the E6000 is what really is going to hold the glass long term. And then that's what it'll look like. Okay. And we'll start with the base. Okay. Of the, and you see what I've done here, I backed up, is I've got about an inch of wire, 3/4 of an inch to an inch of wire that's going to go into the base of the tree, of the trunk. and I'll just poke that into my thick cardboard and it holds it in place while I work on it. All right. And you can see here where I've scuffed the back of the sea glass a little bit. Now that's just grit and dust that's there. When once you've done this, you can just rub that right off, and the glass doesn't look like that. It doesn't damage the glass. You don't even know it's been sanded. Okay, and then there's that piece. The next piece, and about 4 pieces, depending on the size of your sea glass, about 4 pieces on each one. And that branch is done. And now we just take it and put it into one of the holes right there. Right. Sometimes I pick up a piece and I'm like, do I want to use this on the tree, or do I want to keep this as a heart to make some other craft or a heart sea glass necklace with? But heart shaped pieces work really well in this palm tree application as well. All right. So there was the second branch. And we just need to repeat this 8 times. There's the third one, the fourth and the fifth, sixth one, and the seventh one, and then the 8th one. All right. Then what I did, and I didn't make an individual picture, but you'll notice here in this collage that in the middle, I took about a 1.5 inch piece of wire and fixed 2 cone triangle shaped pieces of sea glass to either side and put that in the hole in the top as if it's the start of the next branches that are coming up. Just the way a royal palm, which you can see in the backdrop of this photo. It's in the backdrop of a lot of my pictures. This is the view from my home. My wife and I, our home, I should say. And you can see the sun is setting over the Caribbeans there, the Caribbean Sea. But we have this royal palm that's out there in the view. And so you see the real one and you see the one that we've just created. All that's left, if you want, is to affix the same way with a dab of E6000 glue and then hot glue to anchor it in place until that E6000 dries, is to arrange some little shells or sea glass on the base. And you can make the base bigger if you want or smaller. You can also insert some hot glue into each of those holes before you put the wire branch, the wire at the base of the branches into the trunk, and that will hold them in place. I haven't done that at this point because the nice thing about this design is that I can ship this with each branch bubble wrapped and the trunk and the base either together or not. And I can ship it that way in a smaller flat box rather than trying to box it once it's put together like this. And the chances of that shipping well without some damage is pretty low, pretty low. All right. So hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. Mermaid Mike saying Happy New Year to you. Hope 2025 is good to you and full of lots of opportunities for you to go to the beach and collect sea glass and make crafts and send me pictures and comment. Let me know what you do with your sea glass.